again, Struckweb. Today I'm bringing you the first of a series of builds for Torchlight Frontiers Update 7 of the Alpha version. I decided to make a build centered around the fire relic called the Flaming Destroyer. And it is all about nuking our enemies from up above, making that fire rain, stacking burn chance, and using attacks that do a lot of hits per second to have higher chance of triggering the burning effect of enemies, so that we can result in triggering some of the procs that require our enemies to be burning. The build is kind of based on my energy spike build. Instead it's using a certain relic, and there are two ways how you can make this build. One of them would include the active skill Sword Smash in your skill bar, and the other one spends those relic points differently. On the relic weapon side there are two options. One of them would be using Sword Smash, and this option is not bad. This is what I'm actually playing. What I'm playing is something like this. And I decided to balance out Sword Smash with 40% reduction to the cooldown and then another 10% additional damage. You would be seeing an alternative option on your screen right now, where we haven't put any points into Sword Smash, which means we've maxed out Sharper Blade, and we've also maxed out Lingering Blaze. So 10 points Lingering Blaze, 10 points Sharper Blade. This is an amazing choice for additional, instead of 25, 50% crit chance while Flaming Destroyer is active, and for another 50% bonus damage to Burning Hazard instead of 25%. If you think you need some Ignition Source or some Fear of Flames, go ahead, spend some points, but my suggestion would be to just avoid those. I don't think you would need burn chance while Flaming Destroyer is active more than you would benefit from crit chance, but if you have a lot of gear with crit chance, yeah, maybe you can go 5, 5, 10. That would be nice. So if you're not using Sword Smash, the setup would be as I showed you, something like this. This would be kind of the ideal setup without Flaming Destroyer's Sword Smash skill. For the skill point allocation, I've decided to show you two different setups. One of them would include Sword Smash, the relic skill. The other one would include not putting any points into Sword Smash and spending the points into different relic skills. For the setup with Sword Smash, the skill bar would look like this. This is my suggestion. Sword Smash, Consecration, Luminous Run, Spirit Well, Energy Spike, Entropy. It's mostly dark skills, so if we want to be proccing the dark buff bar, this would not be the best setup. This will be only for proccing the white buff bar for energy regen. We're spamming Energy Spike and Entropy together with Spirit Well, and when the white buff bar is finished, we just use Consecration or Luminous Run to activate it. I would strongly suggest while leveling up to go for a setup that is like maxed out Unholy Bolt, then 8 points Entropy, or 7 points Entropy, 1 point Spirit Well, and then maxed out Energy Spike. Ideally you would max out Spirit Well later on, and on the other side you need to max out Holy Bolt when you start needing more damage for your dark skills, those 3 skills. You need to max out Luminous Run as well when you need more movement speed, and then you need to max out Consecration. The other skills are just there. I was experimenting and that's why they're leveled up here. Don't mind those. So you need 12 points here, 12 points here, and 12 points here. and here you need 12 points in those 4 skills. This leaves you with 4 plus 3 with 7 maxed out skills, so you would be able to afford spending points to max out another skill and spending the rest of the spare points someplace else once you hit level 100. So maybe I would suggest 1 point here, then 12 points here, then going for 7 points here, 1 point here, 12 points here. And eventually when you think you can just put some more points in Holy Boat as long as you can unlock Luminous Run. And then once you unlock Luminous Run, either go for maxing it before Consecration or just put enough points into it or into Holy Boat so you can unlock Consecration and then max out Consecration when you need that extra damage. Just decide what you need more, whether you need more buffs, whether you need more movement speed to clear out stuff faster and move around faster, or whether you wanna max out your skills. So this is it kind of for the skills, and if you're not using Sword Smash, I would suggest using Holy Bolt here. It's not a bad choice. It will allow you to do some single target damage and to try and get some dark bar charging. If you want to go for dark bar charging, you might want to spend some points into Absolver, or if you want to experiment with Holy Fury Dark Spears combo, this would also be an interesting choice. You can probably do something like this. So I'm just giving you some options here. This is not a bad choice, you can play with that. Or you can even do something like this without maxing entropy. So you can get Spirit Well, Dark Spears, Holy Fury combo, double the sword, and those are doing their thing, and then you're just doing energy spike. You can even go for something like this without using Dark Spears if you energy spike. If you don't want to use energy spike, entropy is a fine choice here, and then Spirit Well is a fine choice here. This is alternative setup. I think that's enough for the alternative setups. So now next one I'll show you some good setup for the pet. The best setup for the pet, if you don't have deadlier strikes, would be probably running partner and then switching out running partner before bosses for either defender or increased awareness as an aura. Then next off, you can either go for Screeching Stun together with Battle Cry and Healing Friendship, or Screeching Stun with Battle Cry and Defensive Posture if you think you need some damage resistance. My ideal setup would be Deadlier Strikes as the aura, Screeching Stun as the combat skill, and for buffs Battle Cry and Healing Friendship. So you would have some healing every 10 seconds, you would have some extra damage bonus every 4 seconds, for 10 seconds, so kind of most of the time this would be up, and then you have a Screeching Stun every 10 seconds. In the meantime, you and your pet would have increased 15% crit strike chance together with anyone who's in your team. This would be the best setup. Deadlier Strike, Screeching Stun, Battle Cry, Healing Friendship. I've shortlisted some gear that might go well with this build. First of all, there's a Tenderizer. The Tenderizer, as you can see, has a built-in chance to burn. So if you find a Hivit or a Goblin one, you might want to use it for that extra chance to burn and for that extra burn duration. It also gives critical hit chance versus burning targets. So if you find a focus that gives you chance to burn like this one, it will go very nicely with it. This one is not for my class, so you see steam per second dissipation instead of energy per second, instead of mana per second regen. and you're also seeing things like heat from rapid fire, but there would have been some other skill cooldown reduction. On your left screen size, you're seeing some of the new additions, some of the changes, what mods can roll on what items. This means a crit chance build would be more viable. Before we could only get crit chance on main hand and off hand, together with the shoulders. You can see there's nice shoulders that give 1.4 or more or less seconds burn duration. So if you find shoulders with burn duration, they might be good. If you find something with crit hit chance and burn duration, it would be great. Now you can have more than the shoulders with crit hit chance, so maybe you can get crit hit damage in some pieces. I think you need to get your crit chance above 35, maybe 40%. If you include the offhand and maybe those 20% to burning targets. If you find a weapon that gives burning and flat crit hit chance, like a blue weapon with 10% or 12% crit hit chance, instead of that 20% to burning targets, that's fine. As long as you have burn chance and crit hit chance, you would be fine. For the pet tags, I usually use Bloodlust tag because it gives crit hit chance and crit damage, but a good alternative choice would be Ember Heart Medal. That would allow your pets to start burning your targets as well, and it would also give them some crit hit damage. And if you're using the pet crit hit chance aura, this will give your pets a nice crit hit chance boost. But crit hit chance also stacks with the Bloodlust tags, which would make it around 35 with the aura, so you might want to consider this. Something good would be if you decide to use Unholy Bolt as a boss wiping skill. Boss wiping skill Unholy Bolt setup would not be bad, so something like this. For close range combat you can melt bosses with Unholy Bolt if you go for such a setup. Something like this. This would be your setup with melting capabilities for bosses, and you can stack damage to Unholy Bolt from different sources, so if you have two items like that, it might be nice to stack them and just experiment. Of course you would need Ember Core to craft the Flaming Destroyer, so you might need to spend some time farming White Vault in the Goblin Stash or the Underground Mapworks map. Another good choice is Cinder Blade for a weapon. Chance to burn, burn duration, crit chance versus burning targets, and then there's White Vault's Cave Breaker. It gives you again chance to burn, bonus crit damage and chance to knock back. I'm not sure whether the crit damage and chance to knock back can roll into something else, but it surely is a weapon worth mentioning. So there might be things like give you cooldown for Luminous Run, or things that give you damage for Entropy if you're using the Entropy set. So just try to get the items that modify the skills you use. Regardless of me saying it, whether you want physical damage or crit hit chance, just try to get on the chest piece either flat physical damage or crit damage or crit hit chance. The same goes for any other items where you can get more damage. I would go for a damage oriented build instead of a survivability oriented build on a mage nuker, so make sure you get flat damage or crit hit chance or crit hit damage on any piece where it's possible. And defense wise, just try to get as much goblin defense and fire defense as you can, or heavy defense and poison defense as you can for your frontier. Health is also a good bonus, so if there's a legendary item that gives you health together with the damage, it would be nice, but I would prefer to sacrifice some HP to get more damage myself. But if you're struggling, then yeah, maybe sacrifice some damage until you don't need that extra health or extra defense. So I will now show you some gameplay with the version where Sword Smash is being used. This is my preferred version. I do like using Sword Smash. It doesn't require mana to cast, and it gives me some extra chance to burn. This is a max level map, as you can see. Unfortunately, this map does not have a... Currently it has some issues with the boss fight room, so I would be showing you a boss fight from a different map at the end of the video. So as you can see, we're using Spirit Well, and then we can just leave the spirits kill some other monsters while we deal with the next party. Or we can do the other thing, we can stack up Spirit Well and my other skills together when there's elites. Like, I can even use my W skill just to show you. And as you're probably noticing, I'm using entropy and spamming some energy spikes. And having Luminous run with a short cooldown really does help. So when things need to be even more damage oriented, I would use Consecration. I'm just saving it, but probably I shouldn't. The cooldown is 24 seconds, it's not that long. I do try to save it for tougher elite fights though, and for boss. So now I can probably just use Consecration. I'm not sure whether the Netherlings need to stay inside the consecrated circle because I'm not seeing damage numbers. So probably I need to be in the consecrated circle for the Netherlings damage to get boosted instead of them being there. But I can't confirm this, so it may require you to experiment a bit to see what works better. So if I were to leave my Netherlings to deal with the enemies, let's see what happens. See, they are not bad even as level 1. This is just a level 1 version of the skill that I'm using. So of course, yeah, I won't get more damage, but I'll get more duration for those minions if I max out the skill, and I'll get a faster cooldown later on. Let me quickly check. So there wasn't an option to increase the cooldown, but increasing the duration would mean that you could pretty much keep them up all the time if you max out the skill. The duration is 12 seconds, cooldown is 16. If you increase the duration by 8.5, putting 12 points means that's more than 100% summon duration. So if it's 12% with the 8.5, 12 seconds, then maybe it's like 11 seconds or something clean without any points invested in it. So let's say we can get the duration to be able to place 2 of those at the same time, and this is how it will be. You can probably get the duration all the way to like 20 something seconds. That would mean you would be able to have 2 spirit wells up at the same time when the skill is maxed out. This will give you an immense amount of damage together with a Bane setup, which I could show you later on once I farm some gear for such a build, but expect it soon. A mage centered around summons, around the Bane staff, which summons spiders to assist you. There are items that can also summon things to assist you, so this will be a future build that you would see as soon as I have the build gear necessary. So you can see I'm not even needing to use Sword Smash too much, but it does help on elites and bosses, and it does help on cases where you just want that extra damage. But if you don't need Sword Smash, yeah, use the setup I've shown you, the alternative setup. that doesn't use sword smash. That way you would be getting extra crit chance while using the active skill, and this crit chance would help you burst bosses like crazy. Because all that crit chance would apply to the meteors and to all the other procs. And you can see why energy spike is so great. There are so many hits per second, which means so many options to proc a relic weapon, skills such as the fireballs falling from the skies. So on a tankier enemy that you would end up hitting over and over and over with a single cast of energy spike, this means a lot of chances to spam those fireballs. Let's see on those enemies here. Let's do this, let's do consecration, and now check this out. So many hits per second, so many burning. And I'm not using my ideal setup in regards to pet skills as well, so keep that in mind. Ideally I would have much more crit chance due to the pet aura for crit chance. But the movement speed aura is pretty solid if you just want to go through maps faster. And then before the boss fight you can always swap it on the go, which is amazing. Instead of being able to swap it just in town, which many games do. Thanks for watching this video, folks. If you've enjoyed it, you can let me know by hitting that button. And if you want to be notified when I upload more content, you could subscribe to my channel. If you're looking for more Torchlight Frontiers content, you can check some of the playlists for builds I've made. And in the description below this video you can find links to my Twitch, Twitter, Mixer, and you can also see those at the end of this video in the final sequence. Thank you again for watching this video and keep it cool, folks. Until next time.